Americans evacuated from Wuhan, China amid the rapid spread of the new coronavirus were transported back to the United States on windowless cargo planes, according to the Washington Post. The passengers wore red wristbands upon boarding the plane that marked their initial body temperature in order to track if anyone spiked a fever or showed symptoms of the virus during the flight. Flight crews tended to the passengers while dressed in full hazmat suits. The evacuees are currently living at the different military bases across the U.S. as they wait for their 14-day quarantine period to pass. The new coronavirus, formerly known as 2019 nCoV, has infected nearly 35,000 people and killed 720 people in at least 25 countries since the first case of the virus was reported in December 2019. Let's follow the next news.
Equipped with a hazmat-suited flight crew and no windows, a cargo plane transported 195 Americans from Wuhan, China to Riverside, California after being evacuated from the region due to concerns regarding the coronavirus, reported the Washington Post. The new coronavirus, formerly known as 2019 nCoV, was first reported in Wuhan, China in December 2019 and has since spread rapidly, infecting nearly 35,000 people and killing 720 in at least 25 countries. The U.S. government is asking all U.S. citizens living in the epicenter of the outbreak to evacuate the city as soon as possible and has organized flights out of the region to select military bases in the U.S. Ilona Blaween, 59, and Claude Blaween, 63, told the Post they were in Wuhan visiting their son when the city went into lockdown. They spent 2 weeks trapped in their son's apartment before they were able to secure seats on an evacuation flight back to the U.S. The Blaweens boarded their windowless plane and were asked to wear red wristbands that noted their body temperatures by flight crew members dressed in hazmat suits in order to track any possible symptoms of the virus that could appear during the long flight. After a 13-hour flight, the evacuees touched down in Northern California at the Travis Air Force Base. "Everybody was so glad to come home," Ilona Blaween, 59, said. U.S. citizens evacuated from Wuhan have to be quarantined for 14 days in select military bases across the U.S. Because of the risk of a global pandemic, the U.S. government is quarantining all U.S. citizens evacuated for 14 days at military bases like the Travis Air Force Base in Northern California. During their time at the bases, evacuees have reported using the time productively to learn Zumba, boxing, and how to file their taxes. But some have complained about the limited resources for people with dietary restrictions on the cargo planes and at the bases. Esther Tibaka and her 15-year-old daughter are Orthodox Jews and told the Post that they went 40 hours without eating because there were no kosher options on their cargo flight back to the U.S. and struggled to find food once they were quarantined at a military base. The first evacuees touched down in the U.S. on January 29 and have yet to be released from their respective bases. As of Saturday, there were 12 confirmed cases of the coronavirus that occurred in the U.S. But only one American has died from the virus. A 60-year-old U.S. citizen living in Wuhan died of the virus on Thursday in the Jinyang Hospital, making him the first and only American died from the outbreak.